So here it is, pitch deck basics, everybody. As I mentioned at the very beginning, there's brochure deck and there's presentation deck. So I've said this to Bo and to all of you quite a few times. So you use bullets, larger font, 24 or bigger, less is more. So we went over that very well. Now here is an example of a brochure deck, and we don't want that. Too small, too many words. So 8 to 15 slides max. If you need more, take one out. And now, with these different fonts, you can see how big the fonts actually are on your display. So if you have something that's important, like traction, like Bo has, and he has a main BPO company, then you would put a big fat logo. You'd say XYZ company, put their logo, 1,000 beta users. In 3 months, it converts to 10,000 a month revenue. Whatever's the case. Big, clear, simple, lots of white space around it, or lots of space so you can see it. That's what you're doing here. Then you give the message and you bring it up with this very clear bullets. Now, the average presentation is about 5 minutes. Practice this, okay? You have to practice so that you get rid of all your extra words. Use bullets, no jargon, absolutely no jargon. When you get done with your slides, go back and see if you can take more words out, change paragraphs, substitute to shorter words, and use pictures. A bigger picture is much better than a tiny little picture. Don't have a page with 5 or 6 little pictures because it has no impact. One big picture is much more persuasive, okay? Now, Airbnb raised $600,000 way back. They've had over 16 rounds of funding. And their first deck, you can find their decks online. In fact, I advise you go find one. It looks just like this page. They're completely simple. They just had a few words, a couple bullets, and 4, 5, 6 of their pages had a picture on it, but there was nothing fancy. There's no marketing department, no fancy graphics, nothing. You don't need that stuff at this level. You just need a compelling story. Okay? Now, at the typical event, there'll be 3 to 10 angels, and there'll be 3 to 15 pitches. 15 is a lot. 10 is a lot. After about 5, it gets very tiring for the audience and the investors to listen because most of the people give too much information and it's too many numbers and it's too much jargon. It's tiring. So this is why it's important to be on point, sharp, and really be crystal clear. Now, the pitches are normally about 5 minutes and then 3 to 5 minutes of questions from the audience. However, if there is fewer people, then there may be longer presenting time. Now, one of the companies here that takes online pitching now, and when they're live, they do this also, is they have 10 people do an elevator pitch at the beginning, and then it's 60 seconds timed, which is why you need an elevator pitch. And then they ask them, the audience and the panel votes on the top 5, and then the top 5 make a presentation of 5 minutes with their slide deck. So it's great because you get to see in detail the top 5, but you get to hear 10 different interesting companies. So it's a good combination. Okay, so this is the factoids of your pitch. Now, less than, depending on how you slice this, 1 to 4% get funded by angels, and way less get funded by VC. Number one problem is, first of all, you're in too competitive of a marketplace. In other words, you're late, and investors don't want to spend their money on fighting for advertising in a market that's already dominated by their people. Next reason is weakness in your sales and marketing department. So you need to have on-target sales and marketing, okay? And the investor questions that they're thinking about is things like this. Can this team make sales and outperform the competition?